Hello, I'm Elmer Soriano and we're with engineer James Esquerra.
Good afternoon.
And we're here to shoot a few videos on research problems for the Baguio water crisis. So James, can you tell us what were your involvements in the water issues? Para lang ma-appreciate ng audience natin where you're coming from.
I did the case study for the National University of Singapore. They have an Institute for Water Policy. We did the case of a cooperative in Bulacan, which developed its own water source and distributed its system, set up a distribution system in the immediate barangays. Thereafter, when it was able to do the system, the nearby barangays also wanted to replicate that. Then I also worked with the Associative Water Center of the Philippines, so trying to address last mile problems in water services delivery, mostly in Metro Manila. So you have far-flung areas that are underserved or that are difficult to serve through the MWSS Manila Water System.
Okay, so we're preparing this for the Baguio Water Governance Challenge. And we're doing this because Baguio has a water deficit. No? The population of Baguio consumes 60,000 cubic meters per day, and the Baguio Water District is able to produce only mga 40,000 cubic meters per day. So James, what if from the researcher's perspective or from the student's perspective, ano yung pwedeng i-term papers para maging relevant yung term paper in speaking to this problem of the water deficit?
Marami. So for example, you can start from the big questions and the small questions. For example, there's a recent methodology that was published by the World Bank's International Finance Corporation. It's on water footprint assessment. It's a set of guidelines. Basically, in the past, you would do flow, mass balance, energy balance. In this case, you also can think about gray water, blue water, so those that come from rainwater harvesting, for example, or those that you'll get from surface water, from groundwater. Then you can also think about water processing. So you can do it at small scales at the household level, at the barangay level, or at the city level. So those types of configurations already would suggest a number of things that they can already look into.
O sige, kung kunwari individual and household level, anong pwedeng lang i-term paper? Sabihin mo lang first year or second year college, all sorts of college subjects. Anong pwedeng i-term paper?
For example, when I was teaching at the Ateneo, among the first early topics that was generated was the question of is it sensible to use glass drinking containers or plastic cups? And one of the groups tried to assess how much water does it take to wash a glass. So you can also do that at home. How many plates and bowls do you use? How do you...
Hindi dishwashing fluid yung kasi advertisement, dishwashing fluid and number of plates. No? But in this case,
the water.
Number of plates per gallon of water.
Pwedeng ganon. Tapos you can compare that, for example, across households. You can sample in an affluent household, in a mid-income household, and in a poor household. Plus you can also look at seasons, no? What kind of food do you eat during summer and during rainy season or the cold season, breakfast, lunch, dinner, so pwede mo na-compare yan. So, and then, yung state of health of people and the kind of food they eat in general. So some may continue to eat vegetables, some may shift to more fatty food, so you will require more soap and water to clean them. So,
pag fatty food, di ba? Mas mahirap maghugas ng pinggan pag fatty.
Di ba? Dito uso yung lard na binebenta mo na nakahiwa, yung black. So, nag-freeze yung ano. Then you may need energy also, no, to clean your plate. So, yun. Magandang mga possible questions yun.
Sa bathing, showering, personal hygiene, ano yung pwedeng i-term paper dyan in terms of water?
Kanina nakaupo ako sa trono, sabi ko, ang ganda ng trono nito So, ang konti ng water na ginagamit mo, and yet it's very efficient in flushing. So, one of the things you can do is you can do a map of, the whole set of households in the city. Hulaan mo, how many houses are this old and that old? So, yung mga era, And then use that as an estimate. Ano kaya yung mga klaseng trono ang ginagamit nun? Ano kaya yung flushing efficiency ng mga yun? At
Kasi may liters per flush yata, di ba?
Yes. Some can do it at 1.4. The old ones will do it at about 3.8 liters.
3.8 liters
Yes,
and
so
1.4, that's 3 times as much per flush.
Yeah, mga ganon. So, interesting problem yon, di ba? So, do you think of, ano yung value nun, no? Pag-isipan mo, baka pwedeng mag-retrofit ng mga toilets. That alone can contribute a lot. Pero syempre, quantify mo rin yun in aggregate, no? What does a retrofitting of toilet bowls contribute in terms of reducing water quantity for the whole city?
Di ba pwedeng i-adjust yun or something? The water level, the floater thing.
Doon sa cabinets, yung iba naglalagay pa ng tile block o yung brick, no? So, para tataas. Yung iba kasi dati, yung, kung inabutan nyo, yung may tube pa na ganyan, tapos may mataas na overhead na toilet water cabinet. So, may pressure difference kaagad. So, powerful yon. Yung mga iba ngayon, gamit ka lang ng may mga 2 tabon tubig. Pyong!
So, anong klaseng methods? What kind of research methods can students deploy to do this kind of household and individual research?
Yan, pwede kang mag-sampling ng mga households, pwede mong
Sampling
bisitahin yung
methods.
households, pwede mong tanungin ilan po yung tao sa bahay, gano'n po kadalas
Interviews.
gumamit ng toilets, dito po ba yung morning ritual ninyo or do you do it at the office? So, importante rin yan kasi pala yung iba minsan ang bilis-bilis, ang aga-agang umalis, but they do it in the office. So, pwede rin yun. And then, more or less, what time of day? Kasi baka may implikasyon din yun about water supply. Kasi kung mataas pala yung demand sa umaga, just like electricity, then you'll have to factor that in for the supply side. No? The other end of that is when you flash, where does it go? No? So you can also think about Pozo Negro,
Septic tanks
septic vaults, or sewerage systems of the city. You might want to ask also about which portions are sewerage. Are there separate lines for toilets, sinks, storm drains, and then street level drainages? Kasi important yun eh. If you're able to disaggregate them, no, you can be more efficient in the choice of technology that you use when you actually process the water. So the recovery of storm water can be better done if it does not mix with street level drain, which might be polluted by oils and grease. Meron ganun. Kagabi I was walking, sabi ko, saan galing itong tubong to? So, sayang yung tubig. Pinapatakbo lang sa kalsada. And it also damages the road. So, may mga dugtungan din. The other thing I was curious about na pwede ring explore would be how many houses in Baguio are doing rainwater catchment. And then, ano yung systems nila for rainwater catchment? I noticed in one of the slides, there was a model of you have a roof, you have a 3-story building house, water goes down, then you pump it up. No? So, okay, that's interesting. The other interesting thing is how much energy is used to handling water. That's another thing. Kasi oftentimes, when you process water, may accompanying cost of electricity. In that case, pag pinabagsak mo muna, tapos pinakit mo ulit, tapos gagamitin mo,
gagastos ka ng power.
Bakit hindi na lang nandun na yung bubong sa taas,
Gravity.
lagay mo na doon, saluhin mo na doon. Kapag may spillover line ka na lang, so gamitin mo yung gano'n. No? So, ano din, intelligent design. So, pwede mo rin tingnan yun. So, that also opens other topics for engineering students, civil engineering, sanitation engineering. So, maraming pwedeng gawin.
Okay. Sige, so we'll tackle all these engineering opportunities, design opportunities in the next segment.
Thank you.
Thank you.